Welcome to our first activity in Exercise 1, Landscape. In this lesson, you're going to learn the first step to developing complete freedom of movement on the guitar. You're going to learn to visualize what I call the unbroken chain of half steps in any region on your guitar neck. And by this, what I mean is all the notes of our musical system. You could think of our entire musical system as one long, unbroken chain of half steps that extends infinitely out in both directions. And this is like the musical terrain or landscape that underlies everything we're going to play in the future. And you could think of it almost like a blank canvas. And in the future, you're going to learn how to paint any musical shape you want anywhere on this canvas. And the first step is just to learn to see this musical landscape for yourself and start to understand how it's laid out on your instrument. And the way we do that is with an exercise called cloud. Now, one of the things you're going to notice about the cloud exercise is that the fingering we use is very unusual, and you might find it awkward or even a little uncomfortable. And I don't want you to worry about that. This is just a visualization exercise. And as soon as we get to the next level of Exercise 1, we're not even going to use this strange fingering anymore. So please watch this explanation of what the cloud concept is, and then I'm going to get out the guitar and I'll show you a very particular way that I want you to practice the exercise. Imagine this to be somewhere on the neck of your guitar. It actually doesn't matter what fret you're playing at, because what I want to show you is true anywhere on the guitar. And I want you to imagine playing this note right here. This is the lowest note you have available to you in the region where your left hand is currently located on the guitar neck, because you're playing at the lowest fret on the lowest string. And we would play this note with our index finger. And what we're going to do is just move up from this note by half steps, which is the smallest interval in our musical system, and just see where all these notes will be laid out anywhere on the guitar neck. So moving up from here, we would just move up one fret on the same string, and we play this note with our middle finger. Then we can move up another fret, play this note with our ring finger, another fret, play this note with our pinky. We actually need to play one more note on this string before we can move on. And because you only have 4 fingers, this is what brings up the uncomfortable fingering that I was talking about earlier. The way that we're going to play this note is to actually stretch up with our pinky finger and cover both of those frets with the pinky. So then, moving up one half step from here is what takes us directly to the note we have under our index finger on the next string. And so we could just move up this string in the same way, playing with our middle finger, ring finger, our pinky finger, and then we would stretch with the pinky finger, and then we can relax again on the index finger on the D string, and we'd move up this string in the same way, playing with our middle finger, ring finger, pinky. We'd stretch with the pinky finger, and then we'd relax on the G string. And we'd start moving up the G string in the same way, playing with our middle finger, ring finger, and pinky. But here's where the situation changes. Because of the way the guitar is tuned, we actually don't need to stretch up for a 5th note on this string. In fact, if we were to stretch and play a 5th note on this string, the note that we would be playing is literally the exact same note that you already have directly under your index finger on the B string. So we're just going to pass directly to the B string and then start moving up that string, playing with our middle finger, ring finger, pinky. Here we do need to stretch to connect with the high E string, and I would go ahead and play 5 notes on the high E string as well. So this drawing that results is what I call the cloud. And this is simply all the notes of our musical system in whatever range where your left hand is currently located on the neck of the guitar. And there are 2 things I want you to notice about it. The first is the shape. And that is that there are 5 notes on every string except for that G string, which only has 4 notes. The other thing I want you to notice is the order of these notes. And by that I just mean the numerical order. Now there's nothing magical about these numbers. You don't have to try to remember these numbers. In fact, we're never even going to come back to talk about these numbers again in my method. I just wrote them out so that you could see more easily the order of these notes in pitch from lowest to highest. But it's important to see that clearly. So this is the cloud concept, and it's really the first step to being able to apply any musical idea freely anywhere on the neck of your guitar. So now I'm going to get out the guitar and I'm going to demonstrate how we would actually practice this concept. The most important thing I want to show you about the way we practice the cloud exercise is the way we begin. We always begin the exercise in the same way by simply throwing ourselves into the ocean, playing any note at random. And by this I mean any string, any fret, and any finger on your left hand. And the reason it's important to begin the exercise in this way is that this is the situation we're really trying to practice. It doesn't do us any good to just transfer that whole image of the cloud drawing to the guitar neck and just run through it mechanically. Because ultimately what you're really trying to practice is your own ability to think through musical situations on your guitar neck and to solve them using what you understand about the musical terrain. And so it's important for each exercise to begin with a moment of complete disorientation. And the way we achieve that is simply grab the guitar, throw ourselves into that ocean, and play any note at random. Then what we're going to do is just call up that image of the cloud drawing in our mind, and we just need to think through where we are in that drawing. And what I want you to realize is that no matter where you are on the neck of your guitar, you're always somewhere on that cloud drawing. You literally can't come up with a situation here on the guitar neck that's not represented somewhere on that drawing. So all we need to do is visualize that cloud of notes that surrounds our left hand and to see clearly where we are in that drawing. And as soon as we can see that, then of course we can also see where all the rest of the notes are, and we can begin to move through the cloud.